Everybody, happy Sunday. You are now tuned into Planetary HQ, the planetary headquarters for all of your celestial information. You know me, Deadrick Baker, XD Bake the Wise on Instagram. If you ain't following me, go following me. Go following me. Go follow me. With my brother Magma Sloth. And today, we're talking about the administration of the local universe. That's right. We're going to go down and dissect all of the different celestial personalities. We're going to eat the alien smorgasbord and try to figure out not only what our relationship to the cosmos is, but what our relationship to the other beings in the cosmos. Not only are we like, oh wow, the universe is so big, there must be intelligent life out there somewhere. Yeah, that makes sense. Mathematically, that makes perfect sense. But in this episode, we want to talk about how these beings are organized. And we can go a lot deeper than we can today, but for this specific episode, we're going to start with the top down. We're going to start with the head honchos, the OGs, the heavy hitters, the guys who call the shots for all of the different decisions in the cosmos. The leader himself, dare I say Jesus Christ, what he was doing before he was Jesus Christ, and what he is doing after his incarnation. So this is going to be a good one. I'm excited. We're going to eat nice tonight. You got anything for the people before we dive in, Magma?
Yeah, this is a interesting paper. All the papers leading up to this go into more detail about each of the subjects we'll cover here, but this paper here, paper 33, is kind of a nice overview of all these subjects. Uh, you know, government is actually important, even though government sucks. Ideally, it serves a very valuable function. Bear in mind, all of our governments, we have earned this as a species. You look back in history, the more and more you look at history of any state, of any country, um, any area between borders, you realize people fought for those borders because of their values they held, and eventually they came together and organized to come to some set of standards. Um, I was working on some cars with a buddy earlier, and he's got this lift, and there's a label on the lift he always refers to that's got four different car frames. That every single car ever manufactured follows one of these four frames, so you know where to lift it from. Imagine if there weren't those standards. Now, when we live our lives here in this miserable planet, there's so much to bring us
Wow.
down, and
Sounds so cheerful.
it's very helpful to consider maybe there is some kind of divine plan, maybe there is some order. That's the role of religion, and historically we've always come to religion for some kind of concept of like maybe there are higher beings kind of orchestrating all of this. Everything that's happening here is for a reason. Um, I mean, even if you stop to think, how did we even get here? Why are we these upright beings walking around in this world of animals surviving in nature? Like, why is this even happening? Uh, that kind of alludes to some kind of plan, even though we can't quite understand the full purpose of the plan. But um, it's really cool to think that every galaxy out there, every condensation of matter in space is an organized unit of some celestial government. At least the inhabited galaxies are, and that's what we're getting into today.
Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, who are the mantids? Who are the grays? Who are the ultra dimensionals and the interdimensionals? Let's get into it,
Got
I
the
guess.
Klingons.
The Klingons,
Can't forget the Klingons.
no, the
The
Vulcans, the
Romulans.
Romulans. Um,
On that note, I've been binging Star Trek lately, and I think one of the reasons, like, I got hooked right when we started watching it, and I realized the reason people almost get passionate about Star Trek almost religiously is because it almost looks like a glimpse into the future. Like it's
yeah,
presented as what is it, like 3 centuries in the future or something? 3 or 4 centuries in the future?
I
Something
think
like that.
so.
Star
It's
Trek
like
trivia time.
2050 something. Yeah, so I think 3 centuries in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, like the 2500s or something. And they're always going back and referring to like what happened in the 2200s, what happened in the 2100s, what happened in the uh 1500s.
No,
And so
TNG
it
is only
seems
2364 to 2370.
oh, okay.
It's
The
not
not
that
too
far.
distant future, only a few hundred years from now.
Yeah.
I love how they depict the like 2070s and 2080s. You see these like Illuminati overlords with the triangle symbol, and there's like
Time
police,
traveling.
cyborg police hooked on drugs they're breathing in.
Yeah,
But it's cool.
yeah.
It like it seems like an accurate depiction of like the good future. It's not like every other future we imagine set in an apocalypse, but this is a future where everything goes right in spite of everything going wrong. And we figured it out. We're this intergalactic federation, and it's really cool. And it has this feeling of reality because we like to imagine reality is organized and it's coherent in some way. And you get that right here in this book. We're fixated on the Urantia book. It presents every constellation, every cluster of space is organized. It is following some kind of plan.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people look up in the sky. I mean, me too when I was younger, and I was like, wow, I was in awe of it. It's beautiful. There's stars, galaxies, gravity, light, all this biology, nature stems from out there. I'm a part of that. But it was a big, mysterious question. That was it. And, that big mystery, the great mystery, is enough to stir awe in the personality. And I'm not trying to down talk it, but I don't think that should be the end. You know, we have a mind that
Hmm.
can comprehend the universe, believe it or not. And the more you know about it, the more that awe, it stays there, but it becomes more of a like a
More
fuel
of an
for
aha.
motivation, like an exactly like an aha. You add a ha at the end of that ah, and no hawk to it. No, you gotta ha oh that thing. And when you look at it now, I'm understanding. Holy shit, it's organized, and that gives you a whole new set of awe. You're like, whoa, all of that majesty that seems like raw nature that is unbridled, that no one can control, like a wild horse, a buck and bronco. No, it is controlled and it's
Part of the
organized
plan.
by very high celestial beings. And once you realize that, you're like, oh damn. And then you realize, oh, I'm a part of that. I'm an extension of that. And now you're really motivated. And that's what it's about. Because when you look in the starry night sky, imagine 100 people looking at the same sky. Those are all just light photons hitting their retinas. All 100 people are getting the same photons on their retinas. But a certain individual in that crowd can evolve to a point where those photons actually stimulate a different response within their soul. They look at it and they say, holy shit, I'm a part of that. You still get that majestic awe. That's beautiful. But now you're like, I'm a part of that. And it motivates you for like duty. And you're like part of Starfleet. You're part of the best cosmic team in the cosmos. What is that? The photons are all hitting the same retinas, but one of those or two of those individuals are using that same photonic image and turning it into motivation to go forward, as opposed to being in a majestic, stagnant awe. I just want to give people something to chew on. I'm not down talking the beauty of the cosmos, and because I love looking at a starry night under the night sky, but it also that image should translate into inspiration, motivation, forward motion. So that's what we're going to try to cultivate here. We want you to understand that you are part of a galactic organization. You are way more than what you think you are. And once you realize it, once you start to understand the coding behind the system, you'll be able to break out of the matrix. Sorry for the cliche terminology.
No, that's good. I actually shared my screen. I got a little image to share. As a good
So,
analogy, this is a controlled reaction. When you look at the engineering marvel of a nuclear power plant, there are so many systems that come into place, but it's all to control a totally chaotic reaction there in the reactor core. That is the universe right there. The universe is a controlled, chaotic reaction. Anything can happen, but it is being controlled and regulated uh, intelligently and carefully and prudently to get a very specific outcome. In this case, this violent reaction is generating energy to uh, spin turbines and give power to everyone. Likewise, the souls that are being developed in this universe, we're ascending, we're going out, interacting with each other. stirring the spiritual economy. We're making the wheels spin. We're making stuff happen.
That's a good analogy right there. Controlled chaos, baby. Welcome to planet Earth and the universe. So let's get into who the beings are behind this controlled chaos, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is from the Urantia book. Do we have to say it again? The Alien Bible. The most detailed classification of extraterrestrial races known to mankind. Paper 33, Administration of the Local Universe. While the Universal Father most certainly rules over his vast creation, he functions in a local universe administration through the person of the Creator Son. The Father does not otherwise personally function in the administrative affairs of a local universe. These matters are entrusted to the Creator Son and to the local universe Mother Spirit, and to their manifold children. The plans, policies, and administrative acts of the local universe are formed and executed by this Son, who, in conjunction with his spirit associate, delegates executive power to Gabriel and jurisdictional authority to the constellation fathers, system sovereigns, and planetary princes.
All right. So a few things to break down here. Bear in mind, we're talking about the local universe. We're not talking about the entire total summation of all reality. We're talking about basically our galaxy.
Yeah,
Um, when you hear this talk about the universal Father, the eternal Son, and the infinite Spirit, it's talking about the Trinity, recognized in the Judeo-Christian theology. There's all this talk
they
about a
got something
Trinity.
right.
They got that right. It's the highest level of deity. And when you think about deity, just think of consciousness at the highest level. What is the maximum of intelligence in the universe, the maximum of power potential, the maximum of creative expression? And you have the Trinity, the infinite spirit, the universal Father, the eternal Son. There are these different aspects of reality that are manifest out here in what we see and interact with. Um, then all these other beings like system sovereigns, planetary princes, constellation fathers, even creator sons are beings that take on an administrative role here in our little local system because uh, everything God can delegate, he does because that's kind of the whole point. There's no sense in him just controlling his own little bubble of reality all to himself. He wants to create other personalities, um, try to maximize that creative expression, the the newness in reality.
Yeah, it's a good picture to paint too, that we're not talking about the totality of the universe. Even though the universal in the first sentence, it says it right there. Even the universal Father most certainly rules over his vast creation, which is the totality of the universe. He functions in a local universe administration, like Magma said. Think Milky Way. He functions in our Milky Way administration through the person of the Creator Son. So, like you said, the Trinity, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, they're in the very center of the universe and they rule its entirety. But they can duplicate themselves, like the Son in the Trinity of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. He can duplicate himself, and pretty much that's what you would call a creator son. And these creator sons are representatives of the first Son from the Trinity. They're representatives of him throughout the cosmos. We have one in
Almost
our Milky Way, and his name, well, they call him the Creator Son here, but 2,000 years ago, he incarnated under the title Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
It's
Jesus is a
almost like
direct
a
representative of the Trinity.
yeah. It's almost like a corporation. I guess the Trinity would be like the CEO, CTO, COO, whatever, and then you got like the general managers, and that would be like the creator sons. Then you
Yeah,
got the supervisors below them and all that. And that's the celestial hierarchy.
yeah, exactly. Yep. Just so the people can paint that mental picture in their minds. So, number one, Michael of Nebadon. That's actually our boss, uh, Planetary HQ. He's the CEO. Michael of Nebadon. Our creator son is the personification of the 611,121st original concept of infinite identity of simultaneous origin of the universal Father and the eternal Son. The Michael of Nebadon is the only begotten Son, personalizing this 611,121st universal concept of divinity and infinity. His headquarters is in the threefold mansion of light on Salvington. And this dwelling is so ordered because Michael has experienced the living of all three phases of intelligent creature existence: spiritual, morontial, and material. Wow. So Michael has an actual material mansion up there. um,
I think that's saying, he's experienced the living of that existence, like when he was down here on Earth
but
as Jesus.
read the paragraph before, or the sentence before it. It says his headquarters is in the threefold mansion of light on Salvington. And this
Threefold mansion.
dwelling
Yeah, what does
is
that
so
mean?
ordered because Michael has experienced the living of all
Oh,
three phases. So
holy
he has
shit.
like a
So
triple mansion infused in one's
that's like,
material.
can you imagine, like, you're traveling through space in your USS Enterprise and you come on like this glowing island in the middle of space with a giant mansion on it. It's like something right out of
Unknown
a
planet,
Marvel movie.
Salvington. Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
crazy. So imagine that. That'd be dope. That could you're gonna find that on your cosmic journey. So get excited. Um, because of the name associated with this seventh and final bestowal on Urantia, he is sometimes spoken of as Christ Michael. Damn.
Okay. Now, something we should probably bring up here is something we take for granted having read this book 1,000 times. That the the someone who's green to this book might be in shock over is that our Jesus is the 611,121st original concept of infinite identity. Uh, he's I've heard the argument before. So if there's hundreds of thousands of other Jesuses out there, what makes this one significant? Like, doesn't that devalue his importance? But I would say, like, when you look at like a military and you got like the 4,372nd Engineering Corps, uh, they proudly recognize that title, and they're important because they're the ones here, right now, relevant to you, and that's
Yeah.
why Jesus is important to us. He's the one accessible to us that is important to us. If you have in your mind this idea that the universe is infinite, that it goes on whether you got some idea of like a multiverse theory or that just our single universe is nearly infinite, or at the very least, there's billions of other inhabited worlds and galaxies out there, then you got to imagine God probably has a very vast, organized hierarchy of delegates to take care of all that.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I wore this shirt. Just Jesus Christ on a motorcycle with an alien.
Hell yeah.
It says no
That's what we
time to
do.
explain. Yeah, no time to explain. Just Jesus and aliens, man. Um, our
That's where
creator
it's at.
son is not the eternal son. Amen. The existential paradise associate of the universal father and the infinite spirit. Oh, wait, sorry. Our creator son is not the eternal son, the existential paradise associate of the universal father and the infinite spirit. Michael of Nebadon is not a member of the paradise trinity. Nevertheless, our Master Son possesses in his realm of all of the divine attributes and powers that the Eternal Son himself would manifest, were he actually to be present on Salvington and functioning in Nebadon. Michael possesses even additional power and authority, for he not only personifies the Eternal Son, but also fully represents and actually embodies the personality presence of the Universal Father too, and in this local universe. He even represents the Father's Son. These relationships constitute a creator son, the most powerful, versatile, and influential of all divine beings who are capable of a direct administration of evolutionary universes and of personality contact with immature creature beings. Our creator son exerts the same spiritual drawing power, spirit gravity, from the headquarters of the local universe that the eternal Son of Paradise would exert if he were personally present on Salvington, and more. This universe Son is also the personification of the universal Father to the universe of Nebadon. Creator sons are personality centers for the spiritual forces of the Paradise Father Son. Creator sons are the final power personality focalizations of the mighty time-space attributes of God the Sevenfold. That's wild. So it says that Jesus is not part of the original Trinity, even though he comes from the Trinity. But it says that he exerts the exact same power, if not more, than would the eternal Son if he was directly in our universe.
That's amazing. Maybe because he's more relatable to us,
Yeah, maybe he has
closer
more
to us.
experience down here. You know, he's like you're a
It's
noob. You don't have any experience down here. You do it. It's like seeing like a grandpa, or not a grandpa, like, you know, someone who's like an advanced special ops guy who is so cutting edge, and then he tries to do something the youth are really good at, and he sucks at it. You know,
That's funny. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Could
or
have
like you
a
can't.
master of a trade that is totally new at what you might be good at.
Yeah, can't ride a
Um,
one wheel or one of these new hoverboards, and they fall over.
that's actually a good analogy, yeah, because this is his local universe, so he's got
Yeah.
all the experience and all the technical know-how of it. Um, Something interesting here, that spiritual drawing power. Um, this is very evident when you observe his life here on Earth. He had just multitudes of people just gravitating towards him. That's spiritual gravity. It's like your your personality is you got like an attractive personality. You know how they it's almost in our language. I'm blanking on the term for it, but there's a term for it that's like equivalent to spiritual gravity. It's like someone's got a magnetic personality. That's
Yeah, a
it.
gravitas.
Yeah, yeah. It's like he just by his very presence, people were really curious about him. They wanted to know more about him, what he had to say. They felt like he was significant. Sometimes someone walks into a room and you kind of get that vibe from him, like I got to know this. Um, you can actually see that here on Earth, just among us common folks, um, through personality, power personality synthesis. The Urantia book talks about this in relation to the supreme being, which we've talked about in previous episodes. We'll talk about it in future episodes in more detail too. But it's basically an aspect of God that we can relate to as evolutionary creatures. And as we achieve power personality synthesis, we're achieving unification of our personality and kind of becoming more real in a sense, but we have more of an influence in this world. Some people abuse that and then they go spiritually bankrupt, I guess. But uh, there's a really good quote if I can find it real quick. It's a Morantia Moda.
You're
See if I can.
Moranchimoto.
I'll see if I can whip it up real fast.
You can't
Um,
say that anymore, dude.
you why?
Whip him into shape. That comes from slavery.
Oh,
Damn,
oh
dude.
no.
You're canceled, bro.
Oh, I'm gonna get canceled. This is my career is over. People are gonna take that clip, spread it all over the web.
Oh, Joe Rogan's gonna be talking about it tomorrow. Can you believe this guy talking about our creator son? What? You get the quote yet? He's
I'm
making it up, people. He's just hallucinating. There's no quote.
there is no quote.
All right, tell me when you find it.
Full of it. Tell you what to find.
The creator son is the vicegerent personalization of the universal father, the divinity coordinate of the eternal son, and the creative associate of the infinite spirit. To our universe and all its inhabited worlds, the sovereign son is, to all practical intents and purposes, God. He personifies all of the paradise deities which evolving mortals can discerningly comprehend. This son and his spirit associate are your creator parents. To you, Michael, the creator son, aka Jesus, is the supreme personality. To you, the eternal son is super supreme, an infinite deity personality. Man, JC the cosmic OG, baby.
What does that mean? Super supreme. Like, does that mean the supreme being is almost just doesn't even apply to beings at that level? They are above the
Yeah, I think so.
supers.
I think like they
Okay.
have their own supreme.
So For those that aren't following along, in short, the supreme being is an aspect of God that is it's made manifest in our level of reality through our experience. So we're all indwelt by a fragment of God. We call it the thought adjuster, the mystery monitor. You could call it the higher self, your inner voice, whatever. You got a fragment of infinity within you that's like drawing you forward, challenging your personality to bring out the best and the worst out of you because we're we're being forged like a sword against an anvil and a hammer. Reality is tough, but it's bringing out the best out of us. As we make choices and decisions, we kind of become more real. We gain integrity. We realize who we are, and this contributes to the supreme being. Every experience that's ever been had by a human being, for better and for worse, is being experienced by God as well. So when you're truly suffering, you're in the pits of despair, God is right here inside of you, experiencing everything you're experiencing. This is all kind of uh, totalizing in the supreme being. I don't know what the proper word would be for that, but uh, the supreme being is basically a new aspect of God that is evolutionary and experiential. Um, I guess that's why the eternal son would be like super supreme because the supreme the supreme being doesn't even really apply to that highest level of reality. But here, through all of our experience, the supreme being is growing and growing, and we're able to kind of make contact with that as it grows. Ultimately, sometime in the remote future, um, every world will be settled in some era of light and life, hundreds of thousands of years in the future. That's a little too abstract for us to get into, but yet the supreme being is one of the more important concepts in the Urantia book. If you can wrap your mind around it.
Yeah. And I was reading
Oh,
some like extra UB stuff, and people were, I think it was saying that like everything has a supreme, like a planet. There's planetary supremes. Like there's a Urantia
whoa!
supreme being,
I could
and
see that.
yeah, and they all get
I
manifested
could
to
see
help
that.
the supreme being. So if that's the case, then there was like pre-supreme beings on the Helona level, if that makes sense. So that would kind of
You
make them
know,
super supreme, like the eternal sun.
that's
I know
really
we're going deep, and
interesting.
I don't feel like talking about this right now, but all right, moving on. all
All right, I found the quote though. I found the
right,
quote. The quote is
paper.
Marachimoto
We'll
number.
do an entire episode on the supreme being later, guys. Just
We
it takes up
gotta.
more than
We're gonna
six
have to.
episodes, and we can't talk about it right now. So
We're gonna derail this for another half hour.
yeah.
Um. It's on the Marachimoto section. Um. Paper 48. Marachimoto number 4. Few mortals ever dare to draw anything like the sum total of personality credits established by the combined ministries of nature and grace. The majority of impoverished souls are truly
Are
rich, but they
rich.
refuse to believe it.
Amen.
Mm, it's true. I mean, a lot of us settle for mediocre lives. We just settle for whatever career we're working in. We settle for whatever our lifestyle is. We just kind of let life happen to us. But when you really take charge, you try to uncover who you really are as a person and what you're truly capable of. If you think right now, what can I do with my unique personality, my unique skill set that no one else can do, only me, that can benefit the greatest amount of people, the greater good? Um, all of us have that. It's up to us to figure out what it is. No one can do that for us. But that is God's will. That's what your thought adjuster is trying to lead you towards. And that's how you contribute to the supreme being. And that's how you achieve power personality synthesis, becoming more real as a person by fully self actualizing.
Yes, sir.
That's my final point.
Cool. And get that triple mansion in the sky, baby. Like
Yeah.
Christ Jesus. Jesus has a mansion on another planet. That's pretty sick to think about. We got a couple cool
We think,
things in the chat. Shout out to my dude Gooch, Brandon Gooch. What a name. Um,
oh,
says
I love that name.
I think of structures not just in the geometric sense, although I think these concepts can be represented in this way, but it's about shapes and resonances. So fractal and recursive structures, I guess. 100%, brother. I believe fractals, geometries, sacred geometry, these are all ingrained into physics, into the underlying pattern of our local universe. And when you study the Urantia book, it says that the creator's son, Michael of Nebadon, aka Jesus Christ, he was like the foreman or the I don't know, the creator sitting there writing the blueprints out for our cosmos, for all of those mathematical geometrics that we're thinking about as fractals. He was actually the programmer for this, so he knows the back doors, he knows the codes, he knows it all.
I love that language there, like recursive architecture. It's
Yeah.
such a cool idea. Like in programming, you nest a function within a function that references itself. And then you can even nest functions within each other that are going up and down the chain, referencing it's self-referencing until you meet some condition and in the infinite loop. But that's kind of what a fractal is. It's like a recursive function. So to think about that in architecture is mind-boggling. I mean, yeah, we got to consider these high celestial beings are on like this mental level we can't even comprehend. So they probably got fractal houses.
What I'm
Sure
trying
they
to
do.
say is they got fractal houses. Yeah. Human beings were a recursive function of the cosmos if you think about it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good shit, Gooch. You just got touched in the gooch.
Good. That's a good gooch right there. Also, what's up, Shaka? Happy to see you here.
What's up, Playboy? Yeah, I saw that. What's going on? That's my brother right there. Shout out to Shaka. He's been on the podcast. He's in a couple episodes. Um, all right. In the person of the Creator Son, we have a ruler and a divine parent who is just as mighty, efficient, and beneficent as would be the universal Father and the eternal Son if both were present on Salvington and engaged in the administration of the affairs of the universe of Nebadon. All right. Question to you, Magma. Gun to your
Lay
head.
it on me.
Where is
All right.
Salvington?
So, good question. Salvington is, oh God, I get a bullet between the ears. Salvington is in the, isn't Salvington in paradise?
No, Salvington's not in paradise.
Salvington is the capital of our local universe, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I had those two things wavering in my mind. I'm glad you didn't pull that trigger.
No, I'm saying like what star system is it in?
What star system is it in? I mean, I know you got your opinions on the
Not
matter.
where Salvington is.
I would like to believe
I think I
Salvington
know where
is
Jerusalem
the
is.
super. Okay. That's what you usually talk about. Okay, I would like to believe Salvington is the supermassive black hole center of the Milky Way. That's
Oh,
my
in the
opinion.
center of the Milky Way. You think that's where Michael resides?
Yeah,
Damn, he got a
like
mansion in the black hole. Okay, okay.
it's like so like on our level of reality, it's a black hole because it's like such a heavy spiritual presence. It's like the material world is the trampoline and Salvington is the bowling ball, but it's invisible to us, so we just see the effects
Damn,
of it.
Michael
That's
got
what
that cosmic bowling ball mansion. That's fire.
I.
I
What
don't
do you
know.
think?
I have no clue. I was just asking you.
It would
But
make sense, right? It's
maybe
in the center.
yeah, it does make sense, and he'd want that central vantage point. I
Yeah.
don't know. I was gonna say the Pleiades. Oh my no,
No, that's just full of pretty
everything just hot humans. Um, all right. If you know where it is, leave a comment. Want to hear it in the comments. All right. You want to pick it up, part two?
All right. The Sovereign of Nebadon. Section Observation of Creator Sons discloses that some resemble more the Father, some the Son, while others are a blend of both, their infinite parents. Our Creator Son very definitely manifests traits and attributes which more resemble the Eternal Son. Michael elected to organize this local universe, and herein he now reigns supreme. His personal power is limited by the pre existent gravity circuit centering at Paradise and by the reservation on the part of the Ancients of Days of the superuniverse government of all final executive judgments regarding the extinction of personality. Personality is the sole bestowal of the Father, but the Creator Sons, with the approval of the Eternal Son, do initiate new creature designs, and with the working cooperation of their spirit associates, they may attempt new transformations of energy matter. Um, that's pretty interesting there. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on that. I actually
It's like
just
intergalactic, like scientists, like biologists. It's pretty cool.
yeah, I just recently read in a paper 21, I think it was, The creator sons have this ability to initiate life, to create new designs for life, and that personality could inhabit. But once they become master sons, they've like accomplished all of their training, I guess, all their development. They got to the highest ranking. They're master sons. They no longer have that ability, which is kind of interesting. But
Hmm.
apparently, it left this hint that finaliters, what we may become millions of years in the future, whatever, after we complete our entire ascension through the heavenly circuit, getting all this training, building ourselves up, out in the uninhabited regions of outer space, we might gain this ability. So that's pretty mind-boggling concept. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And I
I'd
was
love
just
to
thinking outside
design
the
alien
box for a
worlds.
second. Maybe because of the fact that he's a master son now and can't create new beings, maybe that's why the Greys and all these other beings are experimenting on other beings to try to. They can't create new beings, but they can modify
Whoa.
pre-existent ones. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
just,
that's a cool
me.
theory.
I'm looking at it from a different angle.
It's like the Luciferian like idea of do
Oh,
what thou
maybe they were
wilt,
trying to
they're
get
like,
as many beings out. They were creating beings before because he didn't incarnate yet. And then he was like, I need to create my seventh bestowal to stop that because new beings stopped. The power to create new beings might have gotten
whoa.
exhausted.
So going along this theory that we kind of have this inside theory that we just
Yeah.
play around with, that what if the Greys were an experiment of the Lucifer rebellion, and
Yeah.
like if that's true, the Greys would be what, 2,000 years old, a little over 2,000. I don't know if they'd be that
No,
young though,
I
unless,
know at least 250,000.
I mean, but they are like perfect, like almost android humanoid. Like they're almost like created perfectly, like fabricated. If they're real, I'm not saying they're real, but if they are real,
Yeah. Well, Lucifer had a core of life carriers that rebelled with him.
that's wild to
So
think
imagine what
about.
they could have done.
Like a life carrier no longer working for Michael,
Yeah,
so
can
they don't
spark
have
the
the same
life.
restrictions.
Yeah. I don't know.
What a trip!
Just getting weird. And like, that happened 250,000 years ago and it's getting out of hand. And Michael's like, all right, to shut
That could have
down,
drove his decision.
yeah, to shut down cosmic creation on a grand scale, I need to get my master status. So, like, how the midwayers kind of, they exhausted that power on our planet to create the midwayers at a certain number. Maybe he can do that on like a
Yeah.
cosmic scale by creating his master sun bestowal. And that energy just gets
Whoa.
wiped from the
I
cosmos.
love I love the lore we're building here.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
by the time
Got
we
60
we get
Rancha
through
movies.
right, by the time we get through a few more hundred episodes, we're gonna have like the most fire TV series you'd ever imagine.
Right. Exactly. The script already written.
Yep.
But it checks out.
All right.
Not breaking any rules.
I can't disprove what you're saying, so it's probably true. Michael is the personification of the Paradise Father Son to and in the local universe of Nebadon. Therefore, when the creative Mother Spirit, the local universe representation of the Infinite Spirit, subordinated herself to Christ Michael upon the return of his final bestowal on Urantia, the Master Son thereby acquired jurisdiction over all power in heaven and on earth. I'll just do that to let you know I'm reading a quote.
Yeah,
This
it's a
subordination,
Bible quote. It's from the Bible.
all power in heaven. So that means that the infinite spirit kind of gives her approval. So I guess just to catch y'all up to speed who missed the last handful of papers, um, or sorry, the creative mother spirit. So the creative mother spirit is basically the female like counterpart to the creator son for our local universe. We have a
Jesus'
local
wife.
Jesus' wife, probably, I guess, his female companion.
Very
Um,
nice.
very nice. She's like, the almost like how Earth, we talk about like Mother Earth, Gaia. Earth has a mother spirit. Think about that for the entire galaxy. Galaxy has a mother spirit, and I remember a reference back in paper 21. It was something like Michael gets approval from her before he initiates new life design plans, and I
Yeah.
have a theory on that. So if the infinite spirit, because the universe mother spirit, um, is I guess what would you call it, a daughter of the infinite spirit, just like the seraphim and all that. Um, our mind comes from the infinite spirit, the third member of
Yeah.
the Trinity. So
People think logic
all
is male. No, it is not.
yeah, it's just maybe a male application of mind, but mind itself, we are tapping into the process of mind from the third member of the Trinity.
The
So
feminine.
where my mind goes is the infinite spirit is the divine mind imagining the entire universe. Just like you can close your eyes and visualize a pineapple, and you'll actually see a pineapple and you can rotate it around. The infinite spirit is doing that for all of reality. You could almost say this is like God's dream or something, but God isn't going to wake up from it because it's an infinite mind. It has infinite processing power. And it kind of makes me think, what if the creative mother spirit or the local universe mother spirit has that same kind of capacity? Like somehow she's imagining how life plays out on worlds, or is supplying some form of life, maybe the currents of life. I don't know, like the life carriers design, how DNA unfolds, how an acorn grows into an oak tree. That's the life carrier's job. But they're working with the flowing life energy, the chi of the creative mother spirit. That's my theory. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of this stuff.
Yeah. I think it makes sense.
Alrighty.
Hmm. Yeah.
I lost my place here. Oh, okay. This subordination of the divine ministers to the creator sons of the local universes constitutes these master sons, the personal repositories of the finitely manifestable divinity of the Father, Son, and Spirit. While the creature bestowal experiences of the Michaels qualify them to portray the experiential divinity of the Supreme Being. No other beings in the universes have thus personally exhausted the potentials of present finite experience, and no other beings in the universes possess such qualifications for solitary sovereignty.
That's
Hmm.
cool. So he
That one
gets
went a
the
little over
stamp.
my head. That one went a little over my head. I'm trying to wrap my mind around what that's saying there.
Pretty much
The
that,
subord.
like, when they come together, they exhaust the Father, Son, Spirit potentials, and it makes them portray the experiential divinity of the Supreme Being.
Oh, and the
Be-
creature bestowal experiences of the Michaels qualify them to portray the experiential
yeah.
divinity of the Supreme
So
Being.
once
Oh,
Michael
okay,
becomes
okay.
a Master Son, with in consort with the Mother's Spirit, they become like a direct reflection of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, to the local
Okay.
universe where we currently are.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
no
okay.
other being in the universe has personally exhausted these potentials. So we have like a floating exact representation of the Trinity from the center of the universe in our local universe through Michael and the Mother Spirit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and just to touch on this again, that is why there are so many of them, whether you're talking about celestial personalities or even human beings, evolutionary creatures. Why do you need so many of us? Because you need local representation. Each world is kind of its own experimental playground where we can unlock what our personalities are capable of, what kind of direction would we want to take our own world in, our cultures, and all that. But even on a galactic scale, every single galaxy, there's hundreds of thousands of them out there that are probably inhabited. Each one has its own flavor and special uh, objectives they're trying to accomplish, and that's why you need local representatives of the Trinity and of high personality. They report to the original consciousness. All right, closing this off. Although Michael's headquarters is officially located on Salvington, the capital of Nebadon, he spends much of his time visiting the constellation and system headquarters and even the individual planets. Periodically, he journeys to Paradise and often to Uversa, where he counsels with the Ancients of Days. When he is away from Salvington, his place is assumed by Gabriel, who then functions as regent of the universe of Nebadon. Can I look up what regent means? Do you know what that means?
It just means like someone who functions when on your behalf when like you're a representative.
Okay, 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 cool.
I think it's like an official title in some governments or something.
All right. And Gabriel is basically Jesus's brother.
No,
How
Jesus'
would you
son.
define Gabriel for the people?
Jesus' son. He's the first
Well,
created being in
i-
Nebadon.
is he the first, the bright and morning star?
Yeah, him and when him and the Mother Spirit come together, they first create Gabriel, and the second created being is the Father Melchizedek.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I always get that mixed up in my head.
Mm-hmm. Gabe is Jesus' son. Jesus' brother
Gaby.
would be Emmanuel.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and
He's another creator's
I think
son.
he's a creator son from the last universe previous. I think like
All right.
you become the
Here's
big
some
brother for the
trivia.
next one. Yeah.
Okay, what galaxy is Emmanuel the creator son over?
I don't think they even say it, but I don't think they don't give us enough information to make that decision out or that answer that question. I don't think, but they do give us names of other local universes. So it's either like Anova, Wolverine,
Wolverine, yeah,
whatever,
that was one.
all those ones.
I
But
guess
I don't know if
Andromeda
I don't know. I don't
Andromeda
know.
isn't inhabited yet, apparently. It's still
According to
in formation, it's still settling.
according to that one goofy workshop we saw.
That one guy, he had some good arguments there.
Yeah, but I gotta look at that myself. It did seem worded weird, and people get lost in the minutia of wording sometimes, but whatever. I'm not talking shit.
Whatever.
All right, let's keep going. The universe, sun, and spirit. Also, remember I forgot what I was gonna say before when I blanked out at the end of what you were saying, but now I kind of remember it. Is that a lot of people think the mind is like a masculine thing, logic, but we know from this text that mind itself comes from the divine mother, the feminine aspect of the universe. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, so I would just say we have, two brains, our left brain and our right brain. Our left brain is more logical, analytical, masculine, and our right brain is more creative, empathetic, and feminine. Um, those are just probably different aspects or different polarities of mind, or maybe mind is a
Yeah,
spectrum and we're all on the spectrum. I don't know, but mind encompasses all of it, just the phenomenon of like consciousness having a computer to work with, I guess.
but
We
mind
are,
itself comes from the mother spirit or the infinite spirit,
yeah,
the divine. So it's and they keep
because,
referring to it as daughters and feminine. So I'm guessing the cosmic
yeah.
mind must be a feminine or a derivative
So
of the
I know
feminine source.
if we're to break this down a little further, I know that the father is the source of personality. So we are like, if I'm to break down my conscious experience in life right now, I am and I am. That comes from the Father. Just the very fact that I am being a new being, that I'm different from you and anyone else. So that is the I am. Uh, personality is the gift of the Father to the Son. So because I have a form and a body and all that, I'm a son. Um, here in the world, a character I can move around and do stuff. And my mind is a gift from the infinite spirit. And then I think that finds its fullest expression uh, through other sons, through other personality, because your mind is almost inactive uh, with the absence of others. Like we can run on our own fumes for a while, but like in isolation, we eventually just run out of gas. It's almost like brainstorming sessions when we're coming up with an idea for an episode or some concept or something. It's only in a group together you start coming up with new ideas and you challenge each other and stimulate new thoughts. But when you're by yourself, you can exert your personality through all the influences you've got from other personalities, all the skills you've learned, like art style, for example. You can give your personality to that, but that'll probably run out after a while without a recharge from other personalities. And that's what I believe is the significance of the spirit is the space between. Like I think true spirituality is the inner association of personality.
Yeah. There ain't no spirituality by yourself. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
hate to break it to you guys, but I think we got something freaking. I hear some weirds. I need your attention, everybody. This just in. The New Jersey drones are now over New York, LA, and every major capital on the face of planet Earth. They keep repeating a message over the 6 gigahertz frequency band, and it keeps saying, Planetary HQ has cosmic garments for your physical mechanism. In other words, we got that drip. Straight from the Galactic Federation wardrobe, these tees vibrate at the frequency of chill. Ribbed knit collars lovingly hug your neck chakra, preventing collar droop across dimensions. Tapered shoulders enhance your interstellar silhouette, perfect for Earth missions and beyond. Dual side seams stabilize your style, ensuring your energy stays aligned even when encountering planetary turbulence. Crafted from 100% classified heirloom combed and ring spun cotton, this featherlight fabric breathes like you're cruising through the astral plane. Ideal for layering beneath your space cloak or relaxing at your Earth base. The tailored retail fit transitions seamlessly from casual Earthling mode to I've got crystals in my pocket and I ain't from here chic, making it essential apparel for your rigorous interdimensional journey. So check out them shirts. We got a bunch of different colors. Link is in the description. Your contributions directly support spiritual operations on the front line in the battle for truth, beauty, and righteousness. With your help, we can help change the face of planet Earth, and we can look fly while doing it. Okay, now that we can fund the Black Budget Anti-Grav program, let's get back to the show. Yup. Back at it. Go check yourself out. Go check out the shop. Got a couple more shirts coming up in the next 24 hours, actually. So we'll have a couple more iterations. Right now, we just got that Planetary HQ, but go get yourself that Edition Prime, baby. Now let's jump back into it. Let's, I guess, do it like, what, 20 more minutes? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Galactic Federation breakdown right now, baby. Part 3. The Universe, Sun, and Spirit. Don't forget to hit that like button to get to the front page. And if you are not subscribed already, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to press that little bell icon on the subscribe button. It'll let you know when we are live and when all the videos drop. Stay up to date with all that celestial information, baby. Part 3, the Universe, Sun, and Spirit. While pervading all the universes of time and space, the infinite spirit functions from the headquarters of each local universe as a specialized focalization, acquiring full personality qualities by the technique of creative cooperation with the creator's sun. As concerns a local universe, the administrative authority of a creator's sun is supreme. The infinite spirit, as the divine minister, is wholly cooperative, though perfectly coordinate. The universe mother spirit of Salvington, the associate of Michael, is the control and administration. In the control and administration of Nebadon, is of the 6th group of supreme spirit beings, being the 611,121st of that order. Oh wow, so they're serialized in the same pattern. Interesting.
Yeah, like for every creator son there is a universe
Girl
mother
made
spirit.
form.
Okay. Yep.
It's arranged weddings. Wow, not cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
She volunteered to accompany Michael on the occasion of his liberation from paradise obligations and has ever since functioned with him in creating and governing his universe. The master creator's son is the personal sovereign of his universe, but in all the details of its management, the universe spirit is co-director with the sun. While the spirit ever acknowledges the sun as sovereign and ruler, the sun always accords the spirit a coordinate position and equality of authority in all the affairs of the realm. In all his work of love and life bestowal, the creator's sun is always and ever perfectly sustained and ably assisted by the all-wise and ever-faithful universe spirit, and by all of her diversified retinue of angelic personalities. Such a divine minister is in reality the mother of spirits and spirit personalities, the ever-present and all-wise advisor of the Creator's Son, a faithful and true manifestation of the Paradise Infinite Spirit.
That's cool. So a thought crossed my mind. I wonder if the angels feel anxious when they got to report to their superior, but apparently fear is an emotion that the seraphim do not experience, and
Yeah.
they experience, like, they're highly emotional beings. They experience all of our emotions with us. They cry when we cry. They triumph over our triumphs, but they don't understand animal fear, and so their corporate leadership of our galaxy is probably really cool because it's got good leadership, and so all these subordinates feel comfortable around their leadership. All the subordinates are highly specialized and highly qualified, so the leadership is able to send them confidently on their way to do their thing, and no one's got to really worry about, you know, poor performance.
Yeah, they're divine beings. They're perfect, right? The Son functions as a father in his local universe. The Spirit, as mortal creatures would understand, enacts the role of a mother, always assisting the Son and being everlastingly indispensable to the administration of the universe. In the face of insurrection only, the Son and his associated sons can function as deliverers. Never can the Spirit undertake to contest rebellion or defend authority. But ever does the Spirit sustain the Son in all of everything he may be required to experience in his efforts to stabilize government and uphold authority on worlds tainted with evil or dominated by sin. Only a son can retrieve the work of their joint creation. But no son could hope for the final success without the incessant cooperation of the divine minister and her vast assemblage of spirit helpers, the daughters of God, who so faithfully and valiantly struggle for the welfare of mortal men and the glory of their divine parents. Interesting.
I
Okay.
wonder why that is.
So I guess the spirit can't turn off the tap even for the rebels.
That makes sense. Like, she could technically just turn off their brains or something,
Yeah,
but
but they can't. She can't.
it's cheating, I guess. It takes the interaction of personalities to
Personalities.
solve problems, because that's the
Yeah,
whole point. That's why the universe exists. So its
for
personalities can
personalities.
kind of duke it out and work
Yeah.
out our differences. Okay. Okay, that makes
Upon the completion of the Creator's Son's seventh and final creature bestowal, the uncertainties of periodic isolation terminate for the divine minister, and the Son's universe helper becomes forever settled in surety and control. It is at the enthronement of the Creator's Son as the Master Son, at the Jubilee of Jubilees, that the universe spirit, before the assembled hosts, first makes public in universal acknowledgement of subordination to the Son, pledging fidelity and obedience. This event occurred in Nebadon at the time of Michael's return to Salvington after the Urantian bestowal. Never before this momentous occasion did the universe spirit acknowledge subordination to the universe Son, and not until after this voluntary relinquishment of power and authority by the Spirit could it be truthfully proclaimed of the Son that all power in heaven and on earth has been committed to his hand. After this pledge of subordination by the creative Mother Spirit, Michael of Nebadon nobly acknowledged his eternal dependence on his spirit companion, constituting the spirit co-ruler of his universe domains, and requiring all their creatures to pledge themselves in loyalty to the Spirit as they had to the Son. And there issued and went forth the final proclamation of equality. Though he was the sovereign of this local universe, the Son published to the world the fact of the Spirit's equality with him in all endowments of personality and attributes of divine character. And this becomes the transcendent pattern for the family organization and government of even the lowly creatures of the worlds of space.
Hmm.
This is, indeed and in truth, the high ideal of the family, and in the human institution of the voluntary marriage. See, wow, that's insane.
Okay.
So their entire thing isn't about taking power. It's about being so noble and humble you give it up and it'll be bestowed back to you.
There's something very important about that paragraph you just read. The last two paragraphs. I'm going to say something that sounds controversial, but it actually isn't. Uh, so me and my partner have been listening to a podcast, the To Be Better podcast. It's just a couple that reads emails from other couples that have a lot of problems. You'd be surprised how shitty some people's lives are and the problems they're dealing with. They try to give advice. They're not therapists or nothing, but there's this one idea that the guy Chris pitched that it is if you're to take a biblical perspective, it is the man's role in a relationship to kind of make the grand decisions, but the woman backs him up in those decisions and gives him the advice, and they talk it over and all that. But it's because if you fall into like the divine masculine and the divine feminine roles, uh, it is a masculine trait to like go forth into the world, to take action, to take command. Um, and it is the feminine role to kind of organize and consolidate, keep things together. And so it, you see this reflected here with the relationship between the creator son and the creative mother spirit, where the creative mother spirit is supporting the creator son, but the creator son's the one that has to go into the front lines and take action and handle all of the problems. But like in an ideal relationship, the man takes all the weight of the world so the woman doesn't have to. And that's kind of what you see here. But that last paragraph you read is saying
I don't know if
they're
that's
basically
I
setting
don't know if
forth
I
a
agree with
pattern
your
for.
last statement.
Okay,
The man takes
you
the weight of the world for I don't know if that's what this is saying,
you
but
you don't
okay.
gotta agree with me. This is
I'm not
kind of
agreeing,
just
but
my.
that statement, I don't know if that exactly is what these paragraphs saying, where the man takes the weight of the world so the woman doesn't have to. I don't know if that's what the eternal mother is represented.
I'll say behind every good king is a queen.
Well, that's a
I
different
guess
way to say it. All right.
what I'm trying to say is that it's when it comes to the big decisions of life, like we're moving to a new state, we're getting an RV, we're changing jobs or something like that. The it is the man that has the final say in that. But I'm not saying this is I know everything about this. I'm just kind of going off of what I've learned and what I understand on this subject. But it is because what this last paragraph you read is saying is that this relationship is kind of the divine pattern that like on worlds like ours, if we reflect it, we are kind of the most efficient couple. And the reason for that is because we are making the most efficient use of our natural skills and abilities. Like there's a reason why there's that polarity between masculine and feminine. I don't think that's there for no reason. Um, I think it's because we're better and worse at certain things, and we cover for each other's weaknesses, and we cover for each other's strengths. And so that makes a lot of sense to me. That um, the creator son kind of gets sovereignty over the universe, but he also is the one that has to handle problems that come up, like the rebellions and stuff like that. The creative mother spirit supports him in that. That's really interesting. I don't know. It's food for thought. Think about it. See what that means to you. How you interpret that in your mind. Uh, I'm not a perfect being. I'm just trying to make sense of all this.
No, I think the picture does make sense what they're saying. I agree with the picture. Like it's very humble. I like how it says like, she was humble and relinquished her power. She never had done it ever, and she did it. She like kind of like bowed down to him,
Yeah,
and it's showing humility. But she had never done that before. She didn't need to. She was super strong. She's upholding the entire universe. Like the infinite sphere is literally the substance for the cosmos. She don't need help. She can do this thing on her
yeah,
own. She's
yeah.
she's
That's
a
right.
bad bitch.
She's an she's a
she's an
strong,
independent
independent,
woman.
creative mother
Exactly. She
spirit.
didn't need Michael. She fucking did this shit. And then she backed him up. And then in front of everybody, she was humble and said, "Even though I know I got this, I recognize your work through your bestowals. And right after he did that in front of everybody else, he said, I'll give you your power back. You're my equal. And I'll show this to the world. And that's a beautiful way. It's humble. On Earth, we don't do it like that. We try to like take from people. You know what I'm saying? Like we try to take authority and dominate and try to force people out and be like, no, you're always stupid. Da, da, da. Stop and listen to me. You're always dumb. And that's the exact opposite of what they did here. They were so humble and they acknowledged each other for what they did. And I do agree with what you're saying. Like this is a good picture, a template of what Earth relationships should be. I just stopped you on that one statement because I don't think the men should take the brunt of the world so the woman doesn't have to. I think that's some archaic shit.
It takes two. Like I'm not saying that the female should sit back, do nothing, and
That's
put
the
it all on the
opposite of what
man.
the divine minister does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's
the opposite. But this passage here really stands out to me, and this becomes the transcendent pattern for the family organization and government of even the lowly creatures of the worlds of space. This
exactly.
is indeed and in truth the high ideal of the family and the human institution of voluntary marriage. And I'll say that uh, here in our primitive world with
I've
us
still
little
got some
animal
thoughts. I
beings
still got
walking
some thoughts. I
around.
wasn't done yet, but
Okay,
but yeah, I'll let you finish. Go for it.
all right. So just to finish my thought, the the female has every choice in what man she chooses. Women that are with shitty men, they have a choice to leave. They can withhold their presence, you know. But it's up to a man to be a good man. So this doesn't apply to manipulative men that want to abuse power. This applies to good men that can make good decisions, good reasoned, level-headed decisions, taking the female's perspective into consideration. And that is a reflection of the highest ideal of the family life is two like almost opposite species working together in cooperation to make it work.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's an ideal. Yes, nobody can disagree with that, obviously. But I'm saying is so. I guess to finish what I was saying, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I believe this is a good template that we should be following down here. That's the only reason why I made a comment on that one sentence because I was like, I don't know if that's exactly what this paragraph's saying, but I think that that template, the way I see it in my mind, like I kind of described the divine minister before here and the mother spirit of our universe. Don't think of it as some like frail woman like we do some dainty girl. It's
No.
this is a bad chick, dude. It's a badass chick. She can uphold the universe, dude. Mind gravity revolves around her. Not only is that
She's a
she get
freaking fat fractal.
yeah, she had a fat fractal and a badonkadonk and that and not only that, but like she's giving the substance for like planets and energy that the entire like local universe uses, the substance of reality, like the actual fabric of time and space. So I'm not here to like make a decree on how women and men should be with each other, but if we're going to use that as a template, I get what you're saying is yeah, we should take females' ideas into consideration, but it's almost like in my head, like believe all women. You know, it doesn't make any sense. I think the woman needs to be living up to actually reflecting the divine minister. Because
I
if
agree with
they are
that.
not, then if all of a sudden you just submit to them, it's distorted, you know? And if you can get
Well,
two people, well, if you can get two people who will follow this pattern of the man runs the house, you submit and you follow that Christian way of thinking. But if they have distorted thoughts in the mind, it could develop into an extreme distortion. And I don't think most people are thinking
absolutely.
of the divine minister and the creator's son when they're thinking of relationships like we are right now, you know?
Yeah, I'm just thinking because it says the creative mother spirit basically like submits to the creator son, and like that sounds, it sounds like a patriarchy. You know, when you think about like people who would bring up something like that and try to dismantle the Urantia book, or even Christian theology through saying it's a patriarchy, it's putting down
And
the
so
woman
many
and
people say
oppressing
that.
her. Um, that's one of the problems with the feminist movement. The feminist movement has made great strides in liberating women from totally unjust oppression, but it has also led to a culture that is, I guess, for lack of a better word, created a bunch of beta males. It's like men that aren't becoming fully men as they should be. And so, in an ideal relationship, like that is the catch there. That sounds like it's a patriarchy that the man is making the final act. But yeah, the man's making the final decision because he's acting on it and trying to make things happen. But it is with the careful consideration of his divine feminine consort.
Yeah.
That's
And
my best attempt at making sense of this.
yeah, yeah. So try to seek to represent the divine ideals. Don't just run around
Mm.
saying, because I'm a girl, you need to, I'm a guy, you need to submit to me. I'm a girl, you need to listen. No, that's not how it works.
Hell no.
Who is my mother? That's what I say. Um, all right, let's keep going. The Son and the Spirit now, well, what's it say about the part in the whole? The difference between two is a relationship and three is a system. And what is the only
Yeah,
thing that is the relationship between parts in a system is the relationship to the whole, right? That's the only thing that
yeah,
causes
yeah.
uniformity. So that means in a relationship between you and a woman, you and a male, or you and a group of people, the only thing that should bind you together is your mission for Jesus on earth.
Hell
That
yeah.
should be it. If you guys are bonding over anything less than that, I'm sorry. And I sound like a crackhead. It's a distortion.
No, that's legit. There are no doubt so many toxic couples here on Earth that are totally dysfunctional because they don't have the higher ideal in mind. They should both
Mm.
be practicing the trisophic method. Be the best
Yeah.
person you can be, mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
Progress always.
Yep. And
Yeah.
to represent that to everybody else on planet Earth and show them how to do it. Or you can just, I don't know, look into each other's eyes and watch the same anime shows together. Whatever. It's another way to do it, you know. All right, whatever. The Son and the Spirit now preside over the universe, much as father and mother watch over and minister to the family of sons and daughters. It is not altogether out of place to refer to the universe spirit as the creative companion of the Creator Son, and to regard the creatures of the realms as their sons and daughters. A grand and glorious family, but one of untold responsibilities and endless watch care. I bet. We do need
Untold
endless watch care. We're
responsibility.
getting wild down here.
Yeah.
We got nukes, baby.
We got
So
nukes.
you watching the kids? Oh my god, I forgot to check on Earth. Fucking blowing.
Hey, are you listening to the baby monitor? I heard a nuke go off.
But hey, you're watching Earth, right? You said you're watching Earth. Oh no. Cut to
Oh, I
us
love that.
bombing Japan. uh, all right.
I thought you put plugs in all the nuclear sockets.
Yeah. You said you were doing that. I told you I had to take care of Anova. All right. The Son initiates the creation of certain of the universe children, while the Spirit is solely responsible for bringing into existence the numerous orders of spirit personalities who minister and serve under the direction and guidance of the self-same Mother Spirit. I never thought of that. I never put that together. I am so dumb.
Huh.
How did I not think of that? It's so obvious. Like we always talk about like life carriers and sons, like initiating and or planting panspermia, that single cell that initiates life on the different planets, right? But there's an entire other process for spirit beings that is totally separate from the life carrier plan to create new spirit beings. And that's done under the
Oh,
Mother Spirit organization.
okay. And that gets me. Oh, okay. Two things here. One, that gets me thinking about a mystery that we can't yet solve. The orders of beings not disclosed in the Urantia book. Are there spirit creatures we don't know about, even
Oh, for
here in
sure.
our hidden plane of reality?
Yeah.
Like Adventure Time, Wizard Eyes, where you see just crazy creatures floating around in the spirit world, or like forest spirits or something. I don't know. It's fun to think about. But
I like
the
it.
other thing, yeah, I think a lot about that. The other thing though is okay. So the Son initiates the creation of certain of the universe children, while the Spirit is solely responsible for bringing into existence the new. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So the Son initiates the creation of new orders of life, but the life carriers are
Like
basically
biologic
angelic
sons.
personalities that follow the plans initiated by the creator son. Also, the creator son probably channels that energy from the father, the energy of life, the chi, whatever, that actually like pushes a plant out of the ground. But the life carriers are designing the code, the programmers programming the code of DNA, like how this is some a short aside, something I've been thinking a lot about lately. Like, how much of a miracle is it that a life carrier can design a life force, like a plan for a species? So their plan is complete. They hit submit. They commit it to the SVN repository on GitHub or whatever, their angelic GitHub, and then that DNA is like born as a new species. It can grow from birth to a complete full adult, all of its organs intact and all that. The programming accounted for that, but also like hundreds of generations later, it hasn't degraded or mutated into something weird. It's still like coherent. Um, Sorry to bring up Star Trek again, but we saw an episode where they met like a planet of rednecks and a planet of clones. And the clones were running into a problem where after like several generations, they had no diversity in their gene pool and they were going to start every mutation was getting cloned and they had nothing to balance that out. Um, and I think about that, like that's something the life carriers had to take into consideration. Like generations later, this is still a perfectly functioning life form. It just gives you more respect for the miracle of life.
Yeah, it's a hard job. It's a hard job. And the life carriers are sons, so those are sons of God, right? So those are coming from the second source and center, from the Jesus. So like, yeah, like the life carrier from the sun
Wait,
initiates this certain.
I thought the life carriers were angels. I thought they were spirits on the
No, they're
spirit side.
sons. Life carriers are sons.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
that's what I heard you talking about this thing that we were the first sentences, and I was like, the way you're wording it was, I was like, wait a second, what? Yeah, life carriers are sons.
oh,
That's why they create biologic
what?
life. That's why they create physical life, biologic.
I
They're
got to do some
sons.
research.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
that
type in
just
life carrier
shifted my
sons.
worldview.
Really?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, if you type
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
that, like, you know, the paper for sons of God,
yeah.
and they're in there. They're classified as a personality. See, life carrier. Just type in life carrier sons. Local universe sons of God, number 4. Life carrier sons.
Okay, let's see. I gotta
So
I gotta
the
test
different
this for myself.
sons. There is Melchizedek, Rondek, Lenondek, life carrier sons. So life carriers are on that
Uh,
chain of Melchizedek, Rondek, Lenondek, life
Whoa,
carrier.
you're right. Oh my
Come on,
god,
bro! I got this shit memorized, fool.
dude. Blew
Yeah,
my mind. I totally forgot that. I don't know why, because I've always described like trying to describe the life carriers to a layman who's never read any of this. I
yeah.
describe them as angels that seed life on Earth.
No, they're
And so I've
physical. They're
got so
beings.
used to
They're
that
sons.
explanation.
I mean, I use it interchangeably. I call them angels too, but technically speaking, per Urantianese, they're not angels. They're sons.
I got used to that description. Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's
That
why
makes that makes
that
sense.
explains that first. The first sentence says the sons initiate creation of certain universe children. So like the sons and the life
Oh,
carriers, they create biological and material evolutionary creatures, so physical beings that we talk about. And then it says, but the spirit solely responsible for bringing into existence a numerous orders of spirit personality, such as the seraphim, the cherubim. So like we always think about panspermia seeding, but there's an entire other cosmic organization that's dedicated to the creation of spirit beings off spirit templates. You know, I wonder what that's like.
yeah.
Is there
Okay.
spiritual panspermia? But just to
Ooh.
finish off this
All right.
section, it's one more fucking sentence. In the creation of other types of universe personalities, both the sun and the spirit function together, and in no creative act does the one do aught without the counsel and approval of the other. So that's about halfway through. Next part is Gabriel, the chief executive, but we'll finish it next slide for sure. You got any final thoughts
Nice.
on the matter?
Yeah,
Halftime thoughts, because we'll pick it up. I'm glad you got the life carrier connection.
I wish I could find I know where it is. I know where it is. I want to give an answer to Trainwreck in the comments. He says,
Oh,
which
I
paper
saw
is it
that.
that
There's actually multiple papers that say that. They word it differently. in one of the papers it says like we refuse to reveal too much because it stifles your imagination and years of
Exactly.
conjecture. And then there's another one that says there's like 5 times where they straight up say we're not allowed to reveal. There are more numerous other orders, but we're not allowed to reveal it to you. It's I would say they say it about 6, 7 times in the entire Urantia book.
I think I have an exact quote for him.
Just type in conjecture and it'll pop up.
I think I found the quote. So what, for the listener,
Or
what Trainwreck
speculation.
is asking is, which paper is it that says they don't have the authority to reveal more info about different spiritual beings? I got pulled up paper 30, Personalities of the Grand Universe. Um, the second paragraph in the paper, it says, it is not possible to
That's the one.
formulate comprehensive and entirely consistent classifications of the personalities of the grand universe because all of the groups are not revealed. It would require numerous additional papers to cover the further revelation required to systematically classify all groups. Such conceptual expansion would hardly be desirable, as it would deprive the thinking mortals of the next 1,000 years of that stimulus to creative speculation which these partially revealed concepts supply. It is best that man not have an over revelation. It stifles imagination. That burned into my memory because
Mm,
uh it that felt really significant to me. It's like the fact we have Star Wars or Star Trek or any other fantasy, sci-fi novel or cartoon or whatever is that like we got to have fun imagining what's out there,
yeah.
you know?
These type of conversations, speculation. This is what we're supposed to be doing right here. Thinking about how
Mhm.
the grays came into being and the different dynamics
That,
and bending the
yes.
rules, So this is what we're doing, baby. Unfortunately, we gotta refuel at Proleon 6. So I think we gotta turn off the live stream, save some battery power so we can make it to the station. We will be refueling. I think we're gonna take a little vacation for about 6 days. So we will be back live next Sunday. But in the meantime, got a special interview coming out. I got Chris Ramsey from Area 52. We did an
What?
interview with him and it's coming out in this week. So keep it
Oh, freaking
locked.
finally.
Yeah, keep it locked. It's a great conversation. We go deep and we have fun while doing it. If you guys want us to reach out to anybody else, if you guys want us to talk to anybody, join the Discord. Talk to us face to
Sweet.
face. Link is in the description. We have a bunch of other cool interviews coming out too, but we'll save it. We'll save it. We'll keep them secrets. If you haven't already hit that like button, please get this information to the front page so we can change the world. Hit that subscribe button. And when you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit that little bell notification so you get a little up to date, get a little notification on your phone when we drop videos and go live, baby. Deadrick Baker, D-Bake the Wise. Follow me on Instagram. Joined by my brother Magma Sloth. This has been another live stream. Planetary HQ, baby. Love you guys. See you soon.